sure?
Yeah, I know, right? But he believes in God because he believes God made him believe in God. So that's what we're working with.
That's predestiny. Yes, I believe in predestiny.
Alpha, do you reject the self-evident truth of our shared naturalistic, atheistic reality that's been revealed to all of sound mind through both natural and special revelation in an undeniable way?
Sure, yes.
Under what justification?
I'm going to plead Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and I'm going to say Donald Duck.
This is where he goes? Your position is so unfounded that you say nonsense to me? You give me gobbledygook? That's how unfounded your position is? Are you joking my ass?
No, he doesn't have any grounding, man. At least he admits it. He has no grounding for any... fuck, I don't know the big words. You do this so much better than I do.
Dude, he's not of sound mind. It's it. That's it.
Checkmate.
So ask me a question, breakfast.
I did. You're not. You've answered my. That's it. You're not of sound mind. It's you don't have a good reason to accept your position. You're not justified to hold your position.
Ask me the question.
Whoa, no over talking him, Alpha. Stop. No over talking.
It's very, very simple, Alpha. I can slow down if I need to. Do you reject the self-evident truth of our shared naturalistic, atheistic reality that's been revealed to all of sound mind through both natural and special revelation in an undeniable way?
So, A, you're using way too many words and way too many...
Do you need me to type it out for you? Do you need me to define every single word for you?
No. You're using too many. So basically, each word is a qualifier for the next word, and I reject almost everything that you said. So, A, I don't.
Have you seen a supernatural or a God thing?
Yes, I have.
What supernatural or God thing have you seen?
Well, there's the fact that I drove off a freaking highway and I'm still alive. So that's kind of one.
I've also seen the lights in Texas. Or a God thing. That's you surviving a wreck.
I didn't wreck actually. And also I've seen the Texas lights. I've also seen the shadow people. It was just kind of cool. That was like a cool thing that happened to me once.
You've seen aliens?
Well, the Texas lights. It's a phenomenon here in Texas.
Is there? I don't know anything about the Texas lights. I've never heard of that. But
so if you go to
naturalistic phenomenon.
You're saying you saw, that's what I'm getting at. You're saying you saw some type of naturalistic phenomenon?
I don't think it's natural.
You know, there's like light orbs that will spawn. Oh man, it's been a long time since I looked into that. But there's like light orbs that'll like spawn that you can see that are like discharges in different areas. I don't know anything about that nonsense that you're talking about, though. It's probably just some naturalistic phenomenon. Did you confirm it was supernatural? Or are you just saying, I saw lights in the sky and they're supernatural?
So the lights followed us for like 30 minutes, and then we lost time, which is a thing that happens with this phenomenon. It's actually a common occurrence.
Did you confirm you didn't get abducted by aliens?
Well, I don't believe in aliens, so...
That's not relevant in any way. Did you confirm you didn't get abducted by aliens?
Aliens aren't real. Only an idiot would believe in aliens. So.
Did you confirm No, there's probably millions of planets with life out there. Did you confirm you didn't get abducted by aliens, or are you just dismissing aliens through your own ignorance?
Well, it's not ignorance. I would think, if you're someone who's going to say that there has to be a naturalistic explanation, and you're someone who's going to put forward the fact that, there has to be a way to explain this in such and such a way. And I can say to you, well, isn't it obvious that God did it? That's the same thing you're doing. So, no, I reject aliens.
It's not the same thing. No, there's a whole different batch of presuppositions there, right? So you and I share the same presuppositions.
I don't think
we share the same presuppositions that there is some type of regularity to the universe.
You know, I don't believe that. BS can tell you that I don't believe that.
Oh, this guy's not of sound mind, BS.
He believes in miracles, so yeah, he's not of sound mind. Sorry, Alpha.
Well, also I believe in chaos.
He
I believe in
believes
randomness.
miracles.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you just don't have a sound position, bro.
Everybody knows that you can only believe in aliens if aliens put that belief inside of you.
Like I just don't have anywhere to go with you, right? You're saying that you saw lights, and then you're outright rejecting aliens when some form of abiogenesis happened on this planet, and we know there's other planets throughout the universe that have a similar setup to our planet and are in a habitable zone.
When you say,
we know that abiogenesis happened relatively early on the planet.
Well, let me ask you about that. So when you say abiogenesis, okay, so I'm someone who believes in evolution, and I believe that basically chemicals and gases came together to create the substance. Thanks. This is such a much better angle. Thanks, you fucking dick. Hold on.
You're right in the middle of the crossfire here.
There. Okay. So for no reason now I'm using an avatar. So where was I? Oh yeah. So all the gases. That's better. I'll be the one who looks like he's farting and smelling his own farts.
They both do.
They really do. So I believe in evolution. I believe that everything came together, that the gases and everything and the energies and the gravity came together to create the pre-cosmic right forms for life to begin. But I believe that this is a random chance that happened. I don't believe that there's a purpose behind each and everything. That doesn't mean that I don't believe there can't be a purpose.
You accept that this whole thing is one big thermodynamic system?
Whole thing is one thermodynamic system. I don't know enough to say yes, so I'm going to say maybe.
So the science suggests that this is all one big thermodynamic system. And so what you're saying is,
but which science?
That just the science, the consensus amongst scientists that are able to.
So do you still believe in the Big Bang?
Make these decisions. Everybody believes in the Big Bang. It's not believing in the Big Bang. There is an expansion of stuff. The stuff exists. There's the rapid expansion of the stuff. We are calling the Big Bang that rapid expansion of the stuff. So
recently, the theory of the Big Bang theory has been coming out of popularity with scientists and theorists. The Big Bang is probably not actually something that actually happened because of the fact that time existed before time existed. So therefore, the Big Bang could not have been the creation of the universe if there was something beforehand.
So you obviously haven't heard of what's it called? I think it's eternal inflation, if I'm not mistaken, where it's just constantly inflating. But that's not relevant to the point. So the point is the Big Bang is our description of the stuff expanding from roughly one point, right? That is an observation. That is a bunch of observations from different areas of science that are described as the Big Bang theory.
How is it an observation?
Even if there is a different theory that describes that, all of that data is still there. It's still expanding from roughly one point. Timing doesn't matter. None of that's relevant. You're just making stuff up.
So if I was to go with your presupposition here, or your way that you're asserting the data,
the only presuppositions that we're engaging on, because we're engaging on neutral ground, like you should in a conversation, are that the universe exists and it is naturalistic.
A, I don't agree that it's naturalistic, and B, how do you know the universe exists?
I can't operate otherwise.
So what makes you real and me real?
none of that matters, dude. We're coming into the conversation with the presuppositions that we exist. There's a universe around us. We're talking to each other over the internet. We can't have this conversation with each other if we're not both going to come into the conversation with the same presuppositions that we exist, the universe exists, and that there's these naturalistic processes that allow us to engage over the internet, right? If you're going to shit on the conversation by like pulling this into solipsism, I can point out how your worldview is absolutely horrid, right? So
that's fine, but
it's easy to do, right?
And
if you want to actually have a conversation here,
everybody, shut up.
Breakfast. First off,
so
hold on.
Before we continue,
let me go first.
Alpha, I need you to acknowledge that we exist in a universe.
Hello?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge we exist in a universe, Alpha?
Well, I'll acknowledge what I can after I speak.
All right. Treat him with kitty gloves, breakfast tacos. He's about to break. I think breakfast tacos took a 10.
I'm just waiting for him to say we exist in a universe so we can have this conversation. Because if he doesn't think he exists, he's a solipsist. I don't want to talk to a solipsist, right?
Nope. Okay, Alpha, do you think we exist in a universe?
So I'm going to first say what I was going to say earlier, but this time hopefully without being interrupted. So just to be very clear, Breakfast, I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know anything about you. I personally, I used to be a Taoist, and I was a Socratic, and then I was a Stoic. I'm currently kind of deep into Kierkegaard. I don't know why, but I really love Kierkegaard. I'm deeply influenced by the existentialist, and I kind of loved the kind of theoretical physics that was kind of going on maybe about like 10 years ago. That's kind of fallen out of favor. But I don't view reality as necessary, and I don't view things as having necessary causes. I think there can be a necessary cause, hence I believe that God is real, but things don't have to happen in a certain way. Hence, I believe in free will, which I know is not a popular view. So that's just where I'm coming from. So I'm not playing with you. I'm not being contradictory with you. I honestly am asking you, how are you defining reality and the universe? What do you mean by that? I'm not.
None of that's relevant. So you acknowledge that you've done reading, which I can infer that the universe exists. And then you said the word I a bunch there. So I can also infer, as can you, when I say the word I, that you believe that you exist, right?
Please don't go around this conversation because it's going to become very frustrating with you. Just get
There's no moving forwards until you acknowledge that the universe exists and you exist.
The universe doesn't necessarily exist, and there's no guarantee that I actually exist.
So you're a solipsist, probably.
No, I told you what my belief systems were and where my ideas come from.
So you don't even believe you exist.
I don't. I hope I exist. I think I exist, but there's no guarantee that I do exist.
This seems like a performative contradiction because the way that you're operating with me doesn't seem like the way that, I mean, maybe a solipsist would operate that way, right?
I'm not.
And who cares if it's a simulation? Oh, you're saying you're not a solipsist, so you believe that you exist and you believe that there's an external world. Unless you think this is a simulation, even in which case there's still an external world, and none of it would even matter if it was a simulation, because we have no choice but to operate in the reality that's been presented to us. There's some form of reality around us, whether it's all computer code, energy, whatever, and we both seem to be minds that exist in this seemingly existent reality, that have the ability to communicate with each other through the English language, right?
So, first off, there's a lot of assumptions there. Number one, as a religious person, I believe
I
we're all
actually
created
removed
to be
all
God.
assumptions from that besides the fact that you're performing a performative contradiction, right? I even
No,
said seemingly on all of it.
You know, if you don't let me answer you, we're not going to move forward at all. So, again, as I was saying, we could all be in the imagination of God, if that's something that you can play with. Me personally, I've always been attracted to the idea of, you know, what if, like Plato's cave, what if we are just, you know, one person who's just gone insane and you're inventing your entire reality? I've often thought about that. I like to believe in ultimate reality, which is where I was trying to go, but you keep on not letting me get there. So I believe in ultimate reality, but I don't believe that the reality that we're perceiving is the ultimate reality. I believe the ultimate reality is just outside of what we're able to perceive. And as someone who's dyslexic and sees things flipped and sees things differently than other people see them, I know for a fact that the way that other people see reality is not going to be the same way that I see reality. So even though we're both looking at the same thing, we're not seeing the same thing, we're not interpreting it the same way. So therefore, even if there's an ultimate reality, I don't think we can ever completely get there because our perception doesn't allow us to. There.
For clarification, I'm going to ask a yes or no question. This is going to be very similar to the question that I've asked like 7 times now. So, is there a seemingly existent reality that we both seemingly exist in and can engage with each other in?
Maybe. I think so. I hope so.
Do you believe that's the case?
Do I believe that this is real reality? For the sake of you wanting to say whatever it is you're going to say, I'm just going to say yes. Just that way.
Do
we can
you
move forward.
actually believe that you're an agent, though, operating in some type of reality?
Stop asking me these because you're not going to get the answer that you want. Just assume that the answer is yes and move forward. Just get to your point.
Okay, because I need to get past that performative contradiction, right? Because
It's not a performative contradiction.
if you're going
This
to
is
provide a
actually how
performative contradiction as you're when we're talking here, that's
this is
kind
not a
of
performative
wild, right?
Okay,
That
so
just shows how weak your
breakfast.
position is, that you can't
Breakfast.
acknowledge
Breakfast.
that a universe exists and you
No.
exist.
I have talked to B.S. Lewis for years. He knows that I hold these beliefs. He knows that this is not. I'm not being inconsistent here. I'm telling you what I've been saying for years.
Okay. So now that we've agreed that there is a seemingly existent reality around us, and we
Which I
both
never agreed
probably
to, but I'm just
exist,
saying yes, just so you can get.
we
to your
can
point,
continue
yeah.
the conversation.
Okay.
I don't remember where we were before that, though.
Why don't you ask me something about religion? I don't know. Something I can
Because
actually
it's
answer.
all false. There's no point. I think we were on the thermodynamic portion of it, and then you said something about the Big Bang being false or something, which is not the case because all of the data points to the expansion from roughly 1 point.
Okay, so again, I'm a
Which-
Catholic. Hold on. Now you're just being contradictory. So I, as a Catholic, want the Big Bang to be true, but I'm telling you, within the last few years, almost all the science channels that I watch, because that's mostly what I'm subscribed to outside of some apologetic stuff, they've all talked about how the Big Bang theory is kind of passé. People don't really agree with it.
Yeah, they're wrong.
So the greatest scientists right now that are out there are wrong.
No, you're misrepresenting whatever nonsense that you saw. I don't know what you saw. I know there was a paper on steady state theory recently that got annihilated, but all of the data shows the expansion from roughly 1 point. The universe is expanding outwards from roughly a central point, which is why I know what you're saying is wrong. There's all sorts of evidence. There's cosmic background radiation. There's measurements. There's all sorts of stuff that observations. I don't want to say stuff. All sorts of observations that we have in various fields of astrophysics and whatever else they. I don't know all the names of all the fields, right? But
Sabine,
there's all sorts. She thinks the Big Bang is true.
Sabine Hassan Fighter talks about how they're saying how it might not be the Big Bang anymore. So is Neil deGrasse Tyson also has a video on this. So does, and I haven't seen this one, but Science Time apparently has one about whether or not it's
Who
wrong.
cares if it's eternal inflation?
Well,
it doesn't change the observations at all.
So what if it's just a recycling over and over again of different universes? So like a universe happens, it expands, it blows up, then starts off again.
Yeah, that would just be naturalistic processes occurring, right? There would be no God needed.
But what if it's a completely an infinite universe and it never had a beginning?
That's just an incoherent statement. You don't even know what you mean by infinite. Do you mean an eternal universe that always exists?
No, an infinite universe.
What do you even mean by that?
Measurement cannot be measured because it never stops.
So there's a finite amount of stuff, right? We don't know if it can expand infinitely. What they're thinking is going to happen at some point is that all the energy is going to be locked up and there's going to be a heat death from maximum entropy. And who knows what happens at that point, whether there's like a big rip and the fabric of space-time falls apart and all this stuff shoots out into whatever. Probably not the case. I'm just making something up there. And then there's like more big bangs that occur from the quantum vacuum and all that stuff is after that stuff is reabsorbed into the quantum vacuum. Or I don't, that's way hypothetical, way into the future, right? And I don't think there's really a good answer for that. But I don't think that's relevant to the discussion at all.
Mm-hmm.
So is this going better than with the shaking fist, or about the same, Alpha?
It's going about the same.
Breakfast Taco is much nicer, though.
Yeah, but he's just as annoyed with my whenever I try to answer him straight.
Well, it's because he probably doesn't like buy into the "I just believe in God because I believe God made me believe in God" theory.
Okay, so
everybody has seen trees, dude. Everybody of sound mind knows no gods exist. You can literally look out your window right now at a tree and know no gods exist, right? That's how I know you're lying to me here.
No,
and you have to say things like the Big Bang Theory, that rapid expansion, that even if let's just say the Big Bang Theory is wrong, all that data still exists. You're saying all that data doesn't exist. That's insane.
That's
Sabine Hofstetter posts videos on all sorts of different papers. I don't know how to say her name, but she posts all sorts of videos on all sorts of papers and oftentimes mentions when they're not peer reviewed.
She never mentions me, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, I'm just gonna break it down for you, Breakfast, just really short because I don't care. I want to engage with you honestly, and I don't want to be like an asshole. So, the type of Christian that I am, I believe that all the prophecies of all these other books are also true. I believe that all these gods and goddesses could have really been existed, whether they were people who are reinterpreted as gods, whether they are demons and whatever else that comes into existence. I believe all of this is valuable and real, and I don't think it's just fantasy. And that includes people who believe in fairies and witchcraft. I believe there is something that they're experiencing. I just don't think it's supernatural. I do think there is supernatural, but I don't think we as humans can perceive the supernatural. So whatever it is that's happening that's unexplainable is something, but it's not, we can't ever cross that barrier. So whatever is happening is something that is being done to the world, if you will. I don't have a problem with that kind of stuff. I just don't think magic's real. I don't think ghosts are real. I believe in God, but when I'm talking about God, I'm talking about creator and destroyer. I'm not talking about like a genie. And so I'm not trying to play games with you. You just happen to bring up a subject that I happen to have a unique opinion on, and I wish you hadn't gone there, because it's a weird, unique opinion that has nothing to do with the concept or with the conversation of God. I read a lot of philosophy, a lot of philosophy. So when you go to those kind of topics, I'm just going to sound like a douchebag and an asshole, and I wish you wouldn't. I wish you would just simply talk to me about what it is you want to ask me. Because if you try to go to some theoretical thing that you want to get me to say something so that we can go on a certain track, I think weirdly, and I've never answered these questions the way that people like me to answer them. And I'm talking about going back to when I was like 6 years old. When people try to ask me these kind of questions, I just happen to have a unique take on things. So please don't go that way, because I'm not going to give you the answer that you want, because I don't think like everybody else. So don't do that. Just ask me directly, so I don't have to sound like a dick. I'm so sick of sounding like a dick.
So you just spoke for like 3 minutes, and 95% of that was gobbledygook. So the one thing that you said there, though, is that you believe in supernatural, right? And so the supernatural thing there, it doesn't seem like you have a good justification to believe in that. And the biggest issue that I've seen here is that you borrow from our base level naturalistic presuppositions.
I don't.
Hey, I just let you talk for like 3 minutes. And you borrow these base level naturalistic presuppositions from our worldview just to get by with a base level of intelligibility on a day-to-day basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, no, I'm just a fucking retard. That's all that is. Yeah.
And with that, you take all these additional positions that you've arbitrarily, for no good reason, deemed valuable, and you throw on pairs of rose-tinted glasses. You've got like 15 pairs of rose-tinted glasses on.
Yeah,
right
that's
now
right. That's right.
that
I'm definitely
alter the way
Yep.
that you interpret data.
Yep.
And
that's
the
what it is.
inputs that are coming into your brain. And there's nothing you can do unless you start to remove those pairs of rose-tinted glasses, right?
Yep.
Because they're altering the way that you receive the information and the way
Definitely.
that your brain processes it. I'm not insulting you, and you're interrupting me.
Yeah, I know. I'm really rude.
It's a thing that happens, right? You have no choice but to interpret the world through the glasses that you put on, right?
All right, Taco, pause. We got another guest. He's finally got some backup here. Unfortunately, it's probably the worst possible backup that you could ever ask for. It's P-Town. What's up, P-Town? Welcome, P-Town, to the BS show.
Okay, anyways.
Alpha, do you want backup?
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm just gonna say the same shit I've been saying for 11 years, and he's gonna think I'm playing with him, and he's gonna think I'm being a dick. So just you talk, you do
it.
Well,
I just got here, but these points that you brought up that you want to claim is on your side when it comes to there being a singularity, when it comes for the universe not being infinite. These are things that Christians have been claiming. So the history of science.
No, nobody cares. It's a red herring. It's totally off topic. So we were actually going
because he already said you're stealing from our worldview. Of course, you're claiming them.
So I'm now going to walk you through
our claim. We claim that God said it first in Breakfast Talk.
Go after P-Town. Alpha needs a break because he's old and he got beat up on.
Well, has he actually heard much of this conversation?
It doesn't matter. It's P-Town. Just go after him. He's going to say something about eclipses.
I'll walk you both through the watchmaker analogy, right? So imagine that the three of us are walking along a beach together holding hands, and we're looking at this beautiful beach together, right? And there's a bunch of water out there. We're looking out into the water, and I ask the two of you, what is water made of?
It's made of this.
Where is that one? I have that one.
He has a book about what's water made of. P-Town, what's water?
No, I have a book about that philosophical point of view.
What is the chemical composition of water, guys?
What are we doing here? Where are we going with this?
I don't know. He wants to say,
just an analogy.
Dude, I don't believe in divine watchmaker.
He's gonna make
just
you
go
into an atheist. Stop trying to resist.
Yeah, I'm just deconverting you guys real quick. So,
Okay,
You're not.
anyways,
You're,
walking by the
it's
beach
not.
and
what
you
is
say
the
it's made of
water? What is the
H2O.
water made of?
No, it's H2O. Just say H2O, P-Town.
I thought I did. But go ahead, breakfast.
Oh, so you know the chemical composition of water. You know the pre-existing stuff that the water formed from, and you probably know some of the natural processes that allowed it to arrive at that state. Now, I pick up some sand. I let go of your hand, Alpha, and I pick up some sand and I run it through my hand.
I immediately
And-
get a boner. It's really nice.
I know my voice is
I
so
let
amazing.
go of your hand.
And the sand's running through my hand, and I say, or I ask you to, what is the sand made of?
I have no idea what sand's made out of, to be honest with you.
Silica.
What about you,
There's different types of sand.
Sand is made out of different types of sand. Okay.
You think the sand's made of different types of sand?
There's different types of sand that are made of different types of rock. Yeah.
Okay. So it's ultimately generally going to be silica, right? But what you've acknowledged there is that there's sand that's formed from erosion, probably, right, on the seabed or maybe seashells or something like that, right?
Yeah. Can we get to the point here?
Yeah,
I'm walking you through. So if you've ever played a game of Dungeons and Dragons, you'll know that you don't skip through the role play portion because the role play portion is the most important.
What it feels like talking to atheists all the time is Dungeons and Dragons, imaginary fairy tale land. Go ahead. Let's do
that's
it.
the world you live in, right? I'm trying to
I
pull
went
you
to
out
college.
of that.
I have a degree. I've done all this.
Yeah, probably all of us in this room do. Anyways, so I grab your hand,
Not Pete
Alpha.
down.
Yeah, so I grab your
I have
hand
a
again,
degree.
Alpha, and we
Silly.
and we begin walking down the beach again, right? And there is a round silver object that looks like it's probably about the size of your wrist across, and it's got like a leather strap or something on it, right? I'm like, whoa, that's cool. What is that, guys?
God.
It's the moon.
You think a moon is sticking out of the sand?
Yep, I do.
I think Alpha just disengaged from the conversation. What about you, P-Town?
Did we find a watch, Breakfast Taco? Or what are you
Maybe.
trying to just? Okay, so
Maybe I walk you guys over there, and since I'm holding both of your guys' hands right
Lord have
now.
mercy.
It's going to be really hard for me to grab that watch, right? So I say, P-Town, can you please grab that item and see what it is?
Okay, I pick up the watch.
It is a
Okay, now what?
watch. It's a watch. So the point of this portion of the analogy is that even in an analogy, it's self-evident to you the difference between something that's natural and something that's created, right? And so you're looking at the watch, and I ask you, so what's a watch made of, P-Town?
It's a big taco.
It's got gears in it. Sometimes metal.
What's it's metal? Okay, cool.
Okay, is this
So,
what you just described?
How do you extract metal, or how do you get metal?
Okay, so like you're sitting in your house and you're by yourself and you see a shadow out of the corner of your eye, and maybe or maybe not, you also see like a little light. You know what I mean? And you might be a little scared or nervous. But
Can you mute Alpha? He broke.
And then like you accidentally notice that it might be a ghost. So does this story of naturalism include the ghost that I just saw? Because that's the same kind of story. I can give you leading questions that
Can you
mute?
I just don't have time for no substance.
It's called a shadow.
They both broke.
P-Town rage quit.
Victory.
No,
There's
Alpha,
no victory there. That's just stupid.
Tacos, the precept isn't going to work in Alpha because he's not a literal believer. He's a metaphorical believer.
Yeah.
He believes in the
I
metaphors
mean,
and stuff.
it's obvious he's an atheist. I don't get why
I'm
it's
not
so
an
hard to
atheist.
engage with an
I'm-
analogy.
I'm a
He's
Catholic.
basically Jordan Peterson, but he puts on.
He's
a
just
faux hat on
rejecting the
weekends.
truth in his unrighteousness. He just wants sin and evil to exist outside of a conceptual nature so he can pretend to be main character in an imaginary cosmic battle of good and evil, right? There's no other reason that he would disengage.
I am
from
not a main
such
character.
an easy analogy. I was painting such a beautiful image for us. We were holding hands. We were walking down the beach. One of you guys had a watch in your hand. We were getting ready to go into what a watch was made of and the processes that a watch is crafted through. Like, come on, guys.
I'm kind of
This is
jealous. I
lame.
wasn't in that. It's holding Taco's hand. I was like, damn, why did I get left out? Ugh.
So we can finish the analogy then, BS. So
Oh my God.
Alpha gets
We'll hold it.
teleported out of the beach, and in his place
By
is
aliens.
teleported, by aliens. And then in his place, B.S. Lewis appears, kind of like in Star Trek. Have you seen the new Star Trek?
I got my
Sector
own
31
show to
BS?
do in 30 minutes. Please get to a fucking point.
Yeah, we're getting there. So BS, have you seen the new Star Trek Sector 31 yet?
I haven't. No.
Okay, I'm sure you've seen other Star Treks, though, right?
Yes.
All right, so just imagine just that teleportation light going on, and you just appear, right? And
Look,
you're holding my
Breakfast,
hand
you're
in
very
place of
smart
Alpha.
and very intelligent.
And thank you. And the watch. same thing happens with the watch, right? Into your hand. And so I ask you, BS. So, what is a watch made of, BS?
It looks like a bit of leather and some metal and some maybe plastic on the front.
So where do we find metal?
Probably in the ground.
Yeah, we gotta mine it,
Crom
right?
gave you some. The god Crom gave you some metal.
We got to mine the metal, right, to craft it with, right?
No, it
Yeah,
comes from a
I've
meteorite.
I've seen Minecraft. Yep.
And the leather, we raise some cattle and they tan
Athena
the
brought
hide
you
or
the
whatever
leather.
they do
Athena.
there, right? And then they bought all these pieces, or I guess parts or whatever you want to call it, and they put it all
Actually,
together,
be
formed
artists.
it, they created this watch, right?
That's the way it looks to me.
Kronos gave you the watch. Yeah. Kronos,
So-
the god.
Anyways,
Alpha's fighting hard.
so
on
the
this.
point of this analogy, right?
Damn watchmaker.
The point of the watchmaker analogy is that, well, one, even in the analogy, it's self-evident to you the difference between something that's natural and that's created. Two,
Yep.
something that's formed naturally is forming naturally through pre-existing stuff. And then three, something that's created is created by some type of people or minds, right? Some type of creator like that, which is totally temporal. All these processes are temporal on both sides, but it's formed from pre-existing stuff. It's created by these people, or I guess crows can create tools and stuff like that, right? But and there's monkeys too that can do that, and apes too that can do that. But the point is that this first generation creator, or whatever you want to call it, is creating this watch. And then on the other end, it's totally natural processes forming this stuff, right? In both cases, it's totally natural processes, right? Now, it is created by humans, which are born through natural processes. They have to consume food. They have to drink water, right? They have to grow over years and to get to that point where they can do that, right? And then, with that being said, I'm just going to reiterate the two big points here, right?
This guy over here that you can't see.
So,
Existentialism.
Alpha, I get this is
So Dostoevsky
obviously
to
this
satire?
argument is going to work on UBS. So I'll ask Alpha. So
And then-
Alpha, do you agree that everything that is observed to exist arises from pre-existing stuff?
Hold on, wait. I got more writers that
He has books that have stuff in it, like with probably
I
metaphors.
disagree with him on his whole premise.
That watches are created things.
So Alpha, do you agree that everything that is observed to exist arises from pre-existing stuff?
No, because I told you I believe in chaos. I already told you this earlier. I said, don't ask me this question because you're not going to get the answer that you want. And it's going to sound like I'm being an asshole, and I don't want to be
No,
an
you're
asshole.
not being an asshole. You just have a totally unfounded position.
I believe in randomness and chaos, and I believe that structure and order is the way that things should be, and that's what God does. God orders the chaos. This is the same argument that Jordan Peterson makes in his latest book, Why We Wrestle with God, by the way. Or we who wrestle with God.
I think you're confused.
No, let me give it a crack. Why do you think the basis of all things is chaos to begin with?
Because could you take me out of the big screen for fuck's sake? Because the basic fundamentals of the universe are chaotic and out of order. Of what Christians and other theists believe of classical theology, to be very clear, and I'm not talking about all theists of all time, is that God is the one who orders the universe. So there's a way to read the Bible, and I think Dan McKellen's actually talked about it, where the universe actually technically already existed, but it existed in a chaotic form, and God came in and ordered the universe and gave order to it. So the more order, the more structure, the more that God is involved. When God is absent, that's where you get evil. Evil is the absence of good.
So
and therefore
wait.
Chaos.
That just contradicts our observations, right? I'm
actually,
just going to dismiss your position on observations and point out that your position contradicts our observations.
Hold on, Taco. He's actually agreeing with you because he's saying that all the world and universe is an eternally existing thing. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that that's the latest theory, and I like that theory because it feeds better with the Bible than the Big Bang Theory, even though the Big Bang Theory is the Catholic theory.
So, yeah, this stuff always exists. That's a given, right? But the point
that I'm
pointing out that is contradicting real life is that he's saying it's starting with chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
The chaos that you would see occurs through entropy. It's the disorder amongst the system, right?
I love you, machine.
Imagine you put like a red...
The machine, your lies smell like truth.
Imagine you put like a red drop of food dye, the one that was recently banned that supposedly causes cancer. Imagine you've got a jar of that and you're trying to figure out what to do with it because they just banned it, right? And you're like, okay, I'll do some testing with it, right? I'll play around and learn about entropy, right? So you drop it into the water, right? And you see that disperse throughout the water, right? The water becomes slightly red throughout. It starts out where the drop, there's a lot of it, and then it spreads out through, right? That is entropy.
I got like 20 minutes more, man. Like, come on, get somewhere.
I mean, if you would engage properly, this would have been over already. You would already be accepting the self-evident truth of our shared naturalistic, atheistic reality that's been revealed to all of sound mind through both natural and special revelation in an undeniable way, right?
I literally showed you a bunch of authors that also don't. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. I literally don't agree with you. I mean,
you agree with me more than you know. You're just being deceptive while we're on.
We're just trying to get you over that last step. Weak. Yeah, you're almost there.
The entropy would be in a state of maximum order. Maybe not maximum, but prior to the Big Bang, it would be the most ordered, right? It would be the best, maximally ordered, right? I guess so. Whatever the system will allow, right? And now we're becoming more disordered, right? So this from chaos thing is total nonsense, right? It just contradicts real life. And so that's why I was saying, yeah, of course the universe is eternal, right? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. That's self-evident, right? We've observed that. It's undeniable, right? But the order stuff, I think, defeats the observations of entropy, I should say, should defeat your chaotic position there.
Well,
yeah, still wondering why there's a reason to believe that chaos isn't self-organizing into order rather than it's being impacted by an outside force.
Well, because the philosophical formalization is that the chaos is a negative. You can take another philosophical presupposition and change it to a positive, and then that makes it its own force. But that is the opposite of the Christian belief. So we don't believe in dualism as Christians. We believe.
I think you said you claimed a necessary being a little bit ago, but it seems like you're also claiming a necessary being. Right? Oh, you don't claim a necessary being.
Is God necessary?
If God exists, yes. And when God doesn't exist, then we're just idiots.
For your metaphysical grounding, what leg of the trilemma do you claim?
None.
You don't claim any leg. You don't claim brute fact. You don't claim infinite regress. You don't claim necessary being.
No.
Because
Okay.
ultimately his reason for believing in God is because he believes God made him believe in God.
It just seems like I don't even know how to help you here. There's no like justification for like I'm trying to save you here. I'm legitimately trying to save you here, and I'm at a loss because your position contradicts reality, and you broke in the watchmaker analogy. The watch didn't break, right? You did. I don't know
was
if you're
bored
being
out of my fucking
dishonest
mind.
and lying to me, or if you're just. I think you're just rejecting the truth in your unrighteousness because you know
That's what it sounds
everything
like
that
to me.
I've said is true. I don't know where else to go because I feel like I'm just being deceived now.
I've already told you what I think 3 times. And 3 times you said I don't think what I said I think. So I don't even know what to tell you, man. I've told you 3 times what I think, what I believe, and 3 times you told me no, that can't be true.
I think
I'm
your
sorry, I
mind
told
is
you.
closed and your heart is hardened, man.
I don't care.
I wish you would be more intellectually honest so I could save you from yourself.
I don't care. I still don't care. I'm so sorry. I don't care. Not even a little.
Well,
Look, if it makes you feel better, if it makes you feel any better, I legitimately, literally believe God is true, and I believe that God is the cornerstone to the universe. He's outside of the universe. He's not in the universe. So don't try to prove him because you can't. Jesus is the incarnation of God, and so you can prove or disprove Jesus. And if one day we find the bones of Jesus, that makes Christianity false. But that doesn't stop me believing in God. It just means I'm being very blunt with you, breakfast. It means I'm just gonna find the next religion over, which for me is Judaism. So I'm just gonna go straight from
You just don't hold
Christianity
your
to
position
Judaism.
for any good reasons, right? Like, I know you're saying this gobbledygook, but
I'm not saying gobbledygook. You gotta listen to what I'm saying.
your
I'm
position
literally telling you what I'm
contradicts
thinking.
reality, right?
It doesn't contradict reality.
I don't know
I've
how
had
to help
miracles
you
happen
here,
in my
man.
life. I've had
Like
miracles happen in my life.
I've got about a 37% save rate, right? And it's about to go down, and I'm trying to increase it, right? But it seems like you just reject the truth in your righteousness to such a degree that
I don't care about anything. Like
I
what you're
don't know
saying
if
right
you
now
can
doesn't
be
even
saved.
matter to me. I literally, as a Catholic, what you're saying to me doesn't matter for shit. Like not even at all. Maybe if I was a Protestant, maybe I'd be like really worried. But
Like I asked you the
I don't
most
care.
simple question. Like I asked you, do you agree if everything that is observed to exist arises from pre-existing stuff? And you said no.
No, I said no.
That's just wild. That's just wild. That's just rejecting our observations.
I believe that God can create ex nihilo because I'm a Catholic. I've already told you this. I believe God can create ex nihilo.
Right,
I
but
don't
you're
know
just
what to tell
rejecting reality.
Hey.
You're telling me that you've seen one thing that you've observed that exists that hasn't come from pre-existing stuff. I don't know why you'd even bring up creation ex nihilo when we're talking about observations.
Let's not go into my psychedelic side.
They got Zach on
Let's
here
really not go there.
grilling you too. He wants to know if you're at the Crimmins document yet.
No, I haven't because I'm doing other research on something else.
Well, it looks like he just walked into the Lion's Den tonight again, Alpha. But at least we know where you stand.
Have you seen one thing that exists
Don't ask me.
not
Please
come from
don't
pre-existing
ask.
stuff?
Please don't ask. Please don't ask. Please don't ask. Please don't ask. Please
He
don't.
hasn't.
Please
Are
don't.
you?
Don't do it. Don't
Is
do
this
it.
a concession?
Don't do it. No, just don't do it, please.
Well, I
Look
did
bad.
ask. So have you seen one thing that has not come from pre-existing stuff? Or are you aware of even one observation of anybody in the world seeing one thing that has not come from pre-existing stuff?
Dog it. Do I really want to do this right now? I kind of got to show. Okay. BS, please forgive me. Please.
All right.
I saw a demon once, and my father and my family went to Matagorgi, and they saw the dancing sun. There you go.
Tell me about this demon sighting.
There's not really a lot to tell.
I want to hear about this demon sighting. That sounds exciting.
Wait.
It really wasn't.
Are we saying that demons just arise from nothing, ex nihilo?
Well, they're not matter or substance.
But they come out of nothing?
Well, they are representational of nothing. Yeah.
Do you know what?
A demon is a something, not a nothing.
I don't think they exist, so I would say they are a nothing.
But how'd you see one if you don't think they exist?
Because at the time I thought they existed, and I saw one, and then I've talked to other people who have seen demons since then, and they say that they saw what I saw.
It's wild.
Again,
Yeah,
I don't
that's wild.
believe in I don't believe in demons. Hence, I didn't want to do this, but he fucking asked the question. I even told him not to, and then he still fucking asked. So there you go. Yeah, I saw the absence of existence. Yes, I saw the abyss, and I looked into it.
So are you aware of what percentage of the population hallucinates seemingly I mean, it's caused by brain processes, right? But seemingly uncaused from external stimuli like drugs?
I have no idea. I think I was like 12 years old or 13 years old.
Oh, bro, I saw freaking eyes in the closet when I was like 12 years old. Are you joking my ass?
No.
Were you a drunk 12-year-old?
Yes, I was.
You saw this when you're 12 and
Maybe.
probably had an overactive imagination, and you're holding this to be a true belief until
Other
today?
people saw it too.
There's tons of people that have night terror or what's that demon paralysis disorder? You know what that's called? Sleep paralysis. Yeah, where they see like a demon at the edge of their bed, or maybe pushing down on their chest or pushing down on their throat or something like that. Are you aware of all the people that have seen that?
So I have a friend of mine who's a charismatic, and he was talking about to me about his demon and God talking to him experience, and it was roughly the same story that I was going to tell him. So, and there was multiple people that witnessed the thing that I saw. It was me and like two of my friends, maybe three if you include the person who's not my friend. We all saw it. I don't believe it is a demon. I believe it was some type of, not mass hallucination, but some type of induced whatever. But if you're going to ask me, I'm going to answer.
I mean, my brother and I, like I said, went into the closet looking for aliens when we were like 12 years old. And we saw red eyes. We both saw red eyes in the darkness, right?
I literally. Well, it's not that I got noise in the background in my dad's situation, so I gotta bounce for 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. Well, tacos. Some of these people are just lost causes, you know.
Yeah, I just don't think they're saving him, right? He's just rejecting the truth in his unrighteousness. And I do want to call out Michael Beverly in the chat for calling this BS nonsense. Michael Beverly, no.
You've been called out. So, did you watch the beginning of this when I was actually critiquing his video about why he believes in God?
Oh, no. I was working on thumbnail, or not thumbnails, images for this video I'm working on.
Well, I let you go ahead and do your thing because I know it's always, if nothing else, entertaining. But I knew he wasn't going to crack because essentially his belief, Alpha's reason for belief was he believes in God because he believes God made him believe in God. And so it's not something you can reason into, so you're not going to be able to be reasoned out of it. Is that true, Alpha?
Correct, 100%. 100%. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, 100%.
Brick,
correct.
I think Tacos was just in shock for a second. He was like off mic, being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he just doesn't hold his position for any justified reasons, right?
I have miracles to back me up. So if you believe in miracles, then I'm good.
Is that how you treat all your beliefs, Alpha?
Absolutely not. I'm a fucking philosopher. No, I don't treat everything else like that. But that's
And this is what baffles me, because I know you read the books. I know you love the books. You have so
I
many
love the
books on
books.
your bookshelf right there.
Yeah.
But this one specific case, when it comes to God belief, like, you approach it extremely 180 differently than you do any of your other things you believe in.
Well, but I mean, I've told you this before. No offense to Breakfast Taco. I've told you, BS, this before, that my belief system developed after I believed in God. So I believed in God before I learned all the crazy stuff. So when I learned all the crazy stuff, it didn't bother me, and it doesn't bother me to dissect the crazy stuff, because that's not my basis for belief. I believed in God before I learned all this other religious theological stuff. So it just doesn't faze me. And I'm not trying to be a dick. And that's why I hate it when people try to catch me on these things that you can catch other Christians on. And I get it. It's really easy to catch them on it, but that's not where I'm coming from for my belief. So it doesn't matter.
Well,
you've
Mr.
said
Beverly
that
has a request. Mr. Beverly's asking why you don't come on his show, but mine. And the answer is obviously because I'm better looking, Michael. But I'll let Alpha tell you.
Michael, I was actually hurt that you were doing some Christian stuff and you didn't invite me on. So the feeling is mutual. I would love to be on your show again, Michael. I really would. Oh, and I saw you had like a big interview. I don't know who it was with. I saw the view count. It wasn't on your channel. Good job, man. I'm really glad that you're growing so well, man. Congratulations.
So I want to point out that I've been listening very intently, and what I've heard is that you think that a God created everything, creation ex nihilo, which is an insane belief to start out with, and then the reason for that is, well, it's very simple, right? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. The only reasonable metaphysical assumption that you could make off of that, and even that it would be hard to do, but if you're making a metaphysical claim off of that, it would have to be that energy probably always existed, right? You've said that you saw a demon when you were 12, and you think your friend saw it too.
Oh, no, I don't think. I know.
And you still hold that belief to be true. You think miracles are real, so you think there's like breaks in the fabric of reality where these miracles occur. And
he's
then
getting me. He's starting to understand.
Also think that a Jesus thing was alien abducted into outer space.
No.
And you said that if the bones were found, your belief would be defeated, and you would go. And the problem with that is he probably didn't even exist. But even with that being said, you said that if the bones were found, you'd swallow
just go to the next
Judaism.
Yeah.
I don't think you hold your beliefs for any good reasons, and I think you should take a deep, long look, really introspect or focus on introspection.
I already have.
And try to justify some of your beliefs and think deeply about that demon side.
I already have. So
I think he did take a long look in the mirror, and then there was a demon behind him.
To be fair, a lot of Christians call me Lucifer and Satan, and even Kip on my last video at the very end of the video gave me a hell Satan. So there you go.
There you go.
Can I give you a welcome to atheism, brother?
Never.
Welcome to atheism, brother.
I know that God is true and God is real, and God forgives you. And one day, if you
don't know any of that.
accept that forgiveness, you will go to heaven.
Bro, everybody of sound mind knows no gods exist. Just look at the trees.
You don't know any of that stuff.
All gods exist. They're just not gods. Only one true God. All the rest of them are just fallen
As I
angels
said,
and demons.
They're all
You should
fake
you should
gods.
just like take a few deep breaths, look out the window at a tree, and welcome yourself to atheism.
You should take a lot of deep breaths, and you need to like meditate and open yourself up to the universe and let God speak to you and find that the truth is there.
You have no idea how many hours I've spent reading about this nonsense
No,
and
you- not
learning
read.
philosophy.
You need to breathe.
Even though
So,
philosophy is fucking
you put-
sticks, you're really, really
you-
stupid.
you-
And
hey, that's my degree. Fuck you. But anyway, so
you have no
you need to put-
idea, right?
you need to
And
put your
how much
fingers
time
right
I've
here,
spent thinking through.
and you need
all
to,
of
I'm
this,
44.
right?
I probably spent more time than you doing this.
I have come to the conclusion, Alpha.
I'm 116. I've spent more time thinking about this than all you guys.
Alpha,
Like,
I've
I
come to
started
the
doing philosophy.
conclusion-
I started doing philosophy at 15.
Every time you talk, I mute myself and I stay muted. And I have not been talking that much besides the watchmaker analogy. And when I pointed out the base naturalistic presuppositions that you have to borrow from our worldview for a base level of intelligibility at the local scale, right?
But could
So
you breathe and like go?
All right, I'm going to breathe and then I'm going to
Cat.
continue talking.
The cat heard at the same
Okay,
time.
okay. Alpha. All right. Let's meditate together, okay?
We got 6 minutes,
All
so make it good because I'm
right,
jumping
you guys
to my
can't-
show.
You guys go ahead and meditate.
All right,
and,
Alpha,
I'll
close
talk.
your eyes. Actually, I'm going to hypnotize both of you while we do this. All right, so both of you close your eyes and let me know when you've closed your eyes.
Fuck.
All right.
Alpha, I can see your eyes open. Alpha, I can see your eyes open on the screen right now.
They're open. Yeah, okay, he's meditating now. Go ahead.
Are you meditating, Alpha?
He is.
Okay. So we're going to breathe in. Everybody breathe in on a microphone together. Breathe out. All right, everybody breathe in and breathe out. Alpha, are you breathing out?
I'm a smoker, sorry.
Alpha, are you breathing out?
Nope.
No, actually, he's holding his breath now because he's being.
Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm
being
doing.
petulant.
You're exactly right. That's exactly what I was doing. I was holding my breath.
He's being
All right,
petulant.
Alpha, if you can't engage in good faith, this isn't going to work.
That's the whole point. It's not going to work. That's what I'm telling you. I keep on telling you this. You're not listening.
Alpha, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just trying to hypnotize you real fast. That's what I'm
trying to
saying.
hypnotize you.
All right.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
I'm going to
Close your
start my
eyes.
show. Breakfast.
Wait, you said
it
we had
was-
6 minutes like 2 minutes ago. You've got at least 4 minutes left.
Breakfast. It was interesting. It was boring. I appreciate your effort, but it didn't work.
Okay, I
you
can
need to find
hypnotize you in
new-
less
you
than
need
a
to find
minute if you
new one.
cooperate.
I don't cooperate. That's not something I do. BS.
He has
I
the
love
power
you.
of God.
You're sweet. You're beautiful. Come over to my channel in a few minutes and bug me.
Okay, dokie, bye.
Welcome to atheism, brother.
Yes, welcome to atheism. And get wrecked, nerd.
Get wrecked, nerd. Got fucking dominated, dude.
Absolutely dominated.